Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about actually sort of introducing to the layout. I will say first off that this is actually a work in progress layout, so like every other work in progress layout, there is tons of junk all over the place. I've made a bit of an effort to clear some of it, but there's other bits and pieces that I haven't, so you have to excuse the mess as we sort of trundle through it, but I sort of, that's work in progress for you. So this part of the layout up here is the depot in. So the RFD transfer depot in the back sort of corner. There is actually a video on that. So if you don't know, you can go and watch that. That's actually a kit, a railway lines kit that I've modified slightly. And you can see how efficient I am. Since I've actually since I've done that video, I don't think I've done hardly anything to that. Other than sort of just narrowed down the platform inside, because that was just slightly too wide for my liking. Other than that, I don't think I've done much to it at all, but it's work in progress. Coming around slightly more, that's the Bachmann diesel depot, and there are two Bachmann fueling points there. So I'm not totally sure whether or not they're actually going to end up. I'm thinking that they're probably too far apart for my liking, so I'm going to probably chop them and take them together, put them like that, or maybe stagger them, something like that. I'm not totally sure yet until I get to the point of where it's actually closer to sort of the finished product. But at the moment, they're just sort of there, just give you representation of what I'm looking at. Going further on, so that is actually the standard Bachmann depot, but underneath, just trying to sort of hold the camera and not break the model. So what we've got going on here is that's kind of like the pit road. So rather than just having sort of like the straight bottom on that, I decided I wanted to go for a little bit of a sort of a feature inside as well. So what we have is kind of you'll end up with like 4 of those across, which actually the rails will sit on. They sit in them holes there, which would be used as supports. So effectively they go there, then that sits on top, and that's the same for all them. That forms the supports. Also, I wanted it at 2 layers. So what I've also got is this is a project from Tichy Trains in America. It's like a catwalk. It's very, very nice. I'm not saying that you can't get this in the UK, but I did spend quite a lot of time looking at what I actually wanted, and this stuff is, I think that's fantastic. It's HO as well, so it's very fine, very nice. It's a little bit warped, but it will go straight when I stick it in. So that's going to end up in there like that, and then so you've got a slightly raised one. So if they're working on the bogies, that's the right height. Then you'll have that again. It'll go that side, and then that side there. So there'll be 4 of those in there, and then that will give you 2 layers. There's a that's the deeper pit there. I also need to get some sort of drainage in there as well, because a lot of these pits, if there was any spillages or anything, there was drainage through the bottom. So I need to find something to represent that. I don't know whether or not Scout Model Sceneries might have something in their range. I'll have a look later. These slots, there's 4 of these slots. They're for putting lights in, so that will be illuminated. Also, there's like in this rodeo, I'm going to have like the welding rig. I think David Dean Parker's done something similar. So it's switchable. So when the loco comes over, it'll just randomly weld, just to add that little bit of extra interest. And then by the time the actual building itself goes back on, a lot of that will actually be just sort of hidden, but it'll give a nice effect for what's going on underneath. It's just something extra to look at. So I'm quite looking forward to doing that, and that's going to be the next bit of the project actually. So I'm going to and I shall make that, or I shall build that with you. So I'll do a separate video on it, to sort of give you a better idea about what I'm doing, how I'm going to do it, and all the different steps I take. So look out for that one. This so these will be the two roads servicing it. This will be a hard stand as well, for when the locos were fueling up and bits and pieces. This will all be sort of concrete. This track here is going to be, that'll go down to the end. There's a what I wanted, this one of the depots, I'm sure it was Totem, but they had like a sort of a grass area. So if they was like doing sort of like an unveiling, or they want to do something special or whatever, they brought the locos into sort of the grass area to photograph them, which I quite like. It was something that I don't think I've seen on a model railway before, so just something I thought I'd like to do. So I've got a couple of big trees to go in here, and we'll put some bushes or something up there, and that'll sort of be like sort of medicured grass. So as if you know, when I want to photograph a loco or something, I've got something nice to actually do it. Or if I'm at a show and someone wants to put a loco on there for photograph purposes, it'll be there. There'll be a stop board here somewhere, so as locos that are coming down to use as a head shunt shouldn't proceed over there unless they get permission to do so. Turning the camera around, this road here comes out, and this goes down and services the that is the depot fuel storage point. So basically the trains will come in and deliver their fuel to there, and then that stores it for the depot. I do like my tanks, so as I've been doing the TEA project, I did actually want to sort of be able to run them and sort of have an excuse to have them on the layout. So this was a perfect excuse, because I can either run a short rake of TEAs in, or 2 or 3, probably 2, or the TTAs like what are in there at the moment, they'll come in on a short rake as well. And what I'd probably also do is I'll probably put another little storage tank here, because a depot of this nature, when they're changing oil on the locos and all sorts of other sort of nasty things, that would also be stored and taken out and disposed of properly. So and that would also add another bit of interest to sort of another different wagon coming in to collect that. So yeah, that's what this road does. There'll also be like a hard stand here as well, for just sort of like just where they're walking and stuff. They won't be tripping over the rails. Just to make it look a little bit different. So that's what's going on there. This is the that's like the depot mess. So that's like the little sort of offices for the depot. That's actually going to be raised up a little bit to sort of give a bit of embankment here. I don't exactly know where it's going to be, but it's going to be somewhere like that. Again, that's just a standard Bachmann one. Now, I know I probably shouldn't use so many proprietary things, but you know, there's so many other things to do. You know, it's just one of them things. I can't remember who actually did the bridge now, but this is there's 2 bridges here, laser cut. They're not finished, far from finished, but I've been sort of cutting and carving them around to sort of fit. I need to sort of get on and do some painting and stuff and whatever, but I'm not totally sure. I've got a feeling I'm going to change some of this around again, but I'll do that sort of as and when I sort of when I've got a better idea of what I want. That's basically, I've just placed it there at the moment just to sort of see where my rails are going to end up, that are going in here, there and everywhere, and around the platform, etc. So that's sort of, it's going there and it's going to go there like that, but it's kind of just there at the moment just to sort of guide, so I don't end up putting tracks where I've got sort of like footings for the bridge. Coming down sort of this way now, there's a road that's going to sort of come down there, and then that will come into the facility here for like the Arctics and bits and pieces for sort of unloading and reloading. So stuff coming by train go out by road and vice versa. And again, in reality, I don't think I'd want to be an HGV driver, sort of like trying to turn around down here. There ain't a great deal of space. This will be raised as well. These tracks will sort of be raised, so this will open this area up as well for manoeuvring. Climbing out of here, I suppose if you was fully loaded, you would somewhat struggle. You know, there are times when you have to use a little bit of modder's license. I haven't really got the space within the parameters of the space I've got. I can't, you can't have a nice long hill. You can't start it here and then slowly grade it up because there'll be no space for anything else. So you sort of got a little bit of cheating going on, but that's you've got to do what you've got to do. But I'll try and make it look as good as I can. Obviously, it won't look stupid, but that's something I'll have to work on as I come to do it. Going over to my platforms. This platform, the long platform you're looking at, is platform 2. This is going to be platform 2, which will be sort of the main platform on the layout. This track here is going to be bi-directional for passenger trains, so the majority of stuff running will be on this track bi-directional. This track here will be used as a loop for freight or non-passenger trains. And again, anything accessing the depot would either need to come from this end or come through from that end into there. So that's what this is, and then this goes out, that then goes out, and that goes off scene there, down there and off scene. Over the back here, there's going to be a track in the bay, so that will be active bay track. This track here is no longer used. That's why it's not looking very good, but it's kind of to represent what would have been there. That would have been the old run round onto that track there, but something that's no longer required, so the railway have removed it. But as again in the 80s they sort of removed it, but left it in place, if you like, disconnected it but left it there, or some of it there. So that's what I'm trying to represent there. The station building, the rest of the station building is at the moment sort of gone away, so some work done on it. So there's another video coming of what I'm doing of that, so that's why it's a bit, so there's only a little bit there, but there is a bigger station building to go in there. Again, you may have seen it on one of the other videos, but yeah, I'm currently working on that, so that when that comes back there'll be another video to do on that. And like I said, this is a work in progress layout, so I do apologise for all of the bits and pieces that there is, but if I try and move it off then I'll end up losing stuff, so I've just left it on there. Inside this wonderful bit here, there's going to be a canal, so down this end there's going to be going to put a lock in here somewhere, so the canal will sort of come through there and then down and along, well that's the plan anyway, along and then split off left and right there, split off left and right there, hopefully. Here there's going to be that's going to be the road with the level crossing here. There's a signal box to go here somewhere. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to fit it in. I don't really want to sort of be I don't want loads and loads and loads of stuff. I'm trying not to cram it, but at the same time, you know, I think that if you've got a level crossing, you'd normally have a signal box, especially back in the 80s. That sort of thing would still be sort of quite prevalent. It's not like today where there's sort of one control centre that does hundreds of different things. So back in the 80s it was pretty much done there and then. Coming sort of on the other way, so this is the main line that comes through here, then it goes off up there and that goes off scene again. This road here, these two roads here are put in for my parcels, again with the sort of the flourishing business of parcels, should we say, sort of in the sort of the mid to late 80s. The sector has taken over a little bit of this yard, which was an overspill yard for what was quite a big depot down there, which has been rationalised, sort of like, and what have we over the last few years as happened with the railway. So we've had these, so the parcel sectors, they've come in and they've rejiggered the rails around to put in the parcels depot. The catenary will be going. That was just purely done for my 90 video. I will be having over the back. The idea is that this bit here that I've just showed you is the exhibition part of it. But I will have a bit more that I can plug into when I'm here at home, and just sort of give myself a bit more operational interest. So I can sort of the idea is not to have this thing packed away somewhere. I do actually want to use it as a train set. So as much interest as I can get out of it, I will do. So there'll be a bit more going on the back. That's not going to be anytime soon because I need to get this bit sorted. But and that will have some catenary on. So that's something that we can do later. But for now, that's not priority. So that's my parcels depot. I know at the moment it's got a MOD train in it, but that's just where I've been sort of testing me wee wagons and bits and pieces. And as I say, that bit of catenary will be coming off of there. So that's that. The actual shape of the layout is the boards are actually built by sort of Tim Horn, or the boards came from Tim Horn. All the CAD work, all the artwork for this was all done by someone for me. So we sat down and we sort of went through what I might like, if you like, or what works. Obviously, the straighter the better from an exhibition point of view, because it makes it easier for packaging up and stuff. When you start introducing like curved shapes, they do get a little bit more awkward to sort of pack up. But that's something that the bridge that we'll cross later once we come to worry about packing it up. But at the moment, that's a long way in the distance. But it is something I suppose that should be considered if you're looking at doing a portable layout, especially for the exhibitions. But as I say, that's not anything I'm going to lose any sleep over today or tomorrow. What else? The layout itself at the moment is not named. I've thought a couple of 3 different things. I've sort of come up with a name and then I sort of do and then I don't, etc., etc. And that's sort of how it stayed. If anyone's got any suggestions, then please leave them below. Always, someone might come up with a cracker. But at the moment, I'd say it's unnamed. The time period, as I said, it's kind of set mid 80s-ish sort of type thing-ish to sort of like the probably 90, 91 maybe at the most. I do like the Swallow 47s, so I'm probably going to have one of them. And from pictures I've seen, I've struggled to see a Swallow, Intercity Swallow one before sort of like the sort of mid 90s. I think that was probably one of the very first ones were painted. Again, if anyone knows any different, then I'm always interested to hear. It's not that I don't like going over a bigger time period, but obviously with a smaller layout like this, I'm fairly restricted in the trains that I can run. So if I sort of got like sort of a 15 or 10 year time period, you sort of end up with sort of, in my opinion, not really a lot of anything, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but sort of one regional railway train and one blue grey, and perhaps stuff that maybe weren't quite seen together. I personally not a great fan of that, within reason, but then I suppose we're all guilty of it in some way or another, so maybe I shouldn't have said that. But I just like to think that it's sort of the stuff is sort of within sort of like a 5 or 6 year or 10 year time period, probably at the very, very most. But I'm sort of hoping to sort of keep it within sort of 6 years. As for colour, I've got some trans pen bits and pieces, and with Bachmann now doing the 45 as well, that should make a nice train. I am obviously limited in the length of trains I can run because of the fiddle yard when I'm at a show, so I'm down to I'm hoping that I can get sort of 5 coaches and a loco, and that will be my absolute maximum length. But for this layout, that's plenty long enough for me. If it comes to it, it'll have to be 4, which is, I prefer 5, but 4 is, if that's all it's going to be, then 4 it is. I have got a couple of steam engines. I've got a Black 5, which is being rebuilt for this layout. That's again as a rail tour machine. Spent quite a bit of time in Scotland, and she also did some of the runs in around the Manchester area, sort of in sort of like the mid to late 80s, which is bang on for what I want. But she would have to be done more as positioning moves, because you wouldn't have seen, you know, they didn't run rail tours with 5 coaches, so rather than trying to represent something, I would just do a positioning move, maybe see her a sport coach in a sort of F4 or something, going to sort of get something, or going to get a rake of coaches, which I've got, you know, no problem with. I'd like to see them running tender first as well, so you know, it's just me. So I think that I probably will be, there'll be stuff like that cropping up occasionally. I think there's a couple of other steam engines as well that we've got, so I shall, you know, over the course of time we'll have 2 or 3 different steam engines to run, but all, I say, all within the sort of like that mid to late 80s bracket. What else? I don't know really. I think there's probably about it for now. So look out for the next video of the actual depot sort of pits, or the depot itself being done, and it's just basically just a quick video just to sort of introduce you to the layout, and sort of what it sort of looks like, what its aims is, and where I intend to take it thereafter. And again, say August 19, we'll see how much further I get sort of by the end of this year. Hopefully this will all be running, and I would have done the video with the first train cab ride in. And I'm quite looking forward to that. It's looking alright. So that's the plan, is to sort of hopefully within the next sort of 2 or 3 months is to actually do the cab ride into the depot for the first time. So that's my goal. Whether or not it actually happens or not is another matter, but that's what I'm aiming at. So yeah, right, okay, well, thank you for watching. Feel free to leave any comments, subscribe if you wish, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you, bye.